Members' motion with no legislative effect. Members who wish to speak, please press the Request to Speak button. This Council will proceed to a debate on Mr. Adrian HO's motion on facilitating land-based cross-boundary transport. 6 members will move amendments to the motion. This Council will proceed to a joint debate on the motion and the amendments. I will first call upon Mr. Adrian HO to speak and move the motion. Then I will call upon Mr. Lothair, Mr. Perry Yu, Mr. Chong Ho-fung, Dr. Ben Chen, Ms. Lam Wai-kong, and Mr. Erik to speak in sequence, but they may not move the amendments at this stage. The joint debate now begins. I now call upon Mr. Adrian HO to speak and move the motion. Mr. Adrian HO. Thank you, President. I move that the motion as printed on the agenda be passed. Hong Kong is an international metropolis and also a member of the GBA. We have very close ties with the mainland, and there are lots of synergized development opportunities. I have been very concerned about how we can promote synergized development through making our transport more convenient. In June 2023, I have moved a member's motion to make good use of the Hong Kong-Zhuhai-Macau Bridge. This time, I will focus on facilitating land-based cross-boundary transport. Now, cross-boundary vehicle license holders need to obtain approval from the Guangdong Provincial Public Security Department and cross a specific BCP at specified time. However, with in-depth integration in the Bay Area, I suggest the government study extending the arrangement to other ports. Of course, implementing one vehicle, multiple ports must come with good management. We must balance the vehicular flow at each BCP. Drivers will have to select a primary BCP for use during peak hours. For other hours, a small quota can be opened up for online application. And also, other BCPs would be required during non-peak hours. The government can collect statistics on each BCP for better management. With this measure, we can balance the needs of drivers. They can select the most direct BCP to reach the destination without taking a longer route. Now, for non-24-hour BCP as well as railway BCP, for example, the Liantang BCP, the Lok Ma Chau Spur Line, the operating hours should be extended to midnight at 12 a.m. for convenience of visitors. Now, concerning the regular quota for Hong Kong private cars to Macau access to city center, there are several thousand of quota holders in Hong Kong, but there is a ballot. At present, there are intermediaries helping applicants to make the applicant eligible. Now, that may weaken the efficiency of the balloting system. I suggest that for drivers who have real ties with Macau, we should prioritize them. We should make real ties with Macau a requirement. For example, individual or company applicants must have real businesses in Macau and are paying taxes in Macau, or they need to have direct relatives living in Macau. Those who fulfill the requirements will receive prioritized quota. This will ensure that quotas are attributed to those with actual need. In terms of the quota number, we need to consider the carrying capacity of Hong Kong and Macau. But that should be ad hoc quota so that quota holders can remain in the urban areas for no more than 2 hours without burdening the urban transportation system. Now, concerning the southbound travel for Guangdong vehicle scheme, drivers need to have driving license in both Hong Kong and the mainland. That led to a great demand for license application in the Transport Department. Now, the Transport Department reacted swiftly and offered same-day quota disc for applicants. Now, if we can extend the scheme to more cities, then we have to enhance the application process as well. There should be different queues. For those with Hong Kong ID cards and Hong Kong visa, they should be given an expedite application route. In the long run, we need to introduce electronic approval mechanism and do away with the intermediaries and make the process more efficient. The southbound travel scheme is a very good opportunity for self-driving tourists to come to Hong Kong, but we need to increase the number of parking spaces and also make available more payment methods and also charging posts. Now, the vehicle inspection standards, the difference in both places have caused concern. For example, for Hong Kong, we need to have above 70% of visibility of the front window. That's in the mainland. For Hong Kong, we have similar standard. For the rear window, the visibility must be higher than 60%. The visibility requirement is among the most stringent in the world. Now, according to past practice, mainland vehicles coming to Hong Kong do not need to fulfill this requirement. I think this is a good opportunity, and I am pleased that the Security Secretary said that it is a good time for us to revisit our visibility standard. The high-speed rail is also a popular choice for going to mainland. Now, from West Kowloon, we now have 16 direct destinations. The network has been made more comprehensive. In 2025, Express Rail Link has carried some 30 million passengers, representing a 17% year-on-year growth. Now, we need to adjust the services according to this greater demand. Now, in 2023, the MTRC has offered a flexible arrangement for passengers flying between West Kowloon and Futian. They may change their departure thrice per day, 45 minutes ahead of departure. The arrangement has been enhanced recently so that passengers can choose any other departure within the same day. Now, the China Railway Guangzhou branch is also offering a same-day ticket. Ticket holder may ride on any intercity link departing from Guangzhou during the same day. Now, I agree that we need to offer more flexibility to passengers, and also for short-haul trips, we need to introduce a management model like MTRC. For example, 45 minutes to 10 minutes before departure, visitors can choose a free seating ticket of the same day. Now, with the enhancements of the MTR network, together with the Northern Rail Link in the future, the East Rail Line's pressure will be intense. Now, there should be special short-haul departures from West Kowloon to Shenzhen North. Governments on both sides should revisit the safety design and also loading of our train cars and study the introduction of standing seats for short-haul trips. Now, this is very beneficial for our economy as well as the exchange of people flow. Now, the government should study these policies, and I hope members will support my motion.
And I propose the question to you that Mr. Adrian HO's motion be passed. Captain Lothair Lam. Thank you, President. I thank Mr. Adrian HO for proposing the motion on facilitating land-based cross-boundary transport. The National 15th Five-Year Plan says that we really need to enhance connectivity within the Greater Bay Area to consolidate and enhance Hong Kong's status in finance, logistics, and trading. and to support Hong Kong to become an international INT center. The Hong Kong International Airport is, for many years, one of the busiest ports in the world. Apart from Hong Kong being a free port and providing great professional services and other unique advantages, the country is opening up and is promoting mobility of data inputs and people, driving the development of the economy. I believe with today's motion, it will help with the flow of people and cargo, and we should continue to align with the country's strategy. According to the Census and Statistics Department figures, 60% of last year's exports cost about $3.1 trillion and 44% of the imports being $2.49 trillion. The source and the destination are mainland. And last year, the passenger throughput in the Hong Kong International Airport is 61 million and cargo throughput is 5.07 million. We have many of those transiting, making use of the Hong Kong International Airport. And with the commission of the 3-1-way system, we should be able to handle 120 million passenger trips per year. It is about how we can make good use of the system. Air cargo is often time-limited cargo and high-end cargo, such as those related to biotech, fashion, and food. And we need to make sure in between with land-based transport, we can tie in with the air cargo arrangements. Right now, we need to make sure we consolidate marine transport. In the original motion, we have already a very good basis, and I have added on top of that to facilitate cross-boundary cargo flow and to extend the operating hours of land boundary control points so as for Hong Kong to play a bigger role in transit. In fact, with the East in, East out, West in, West out strategy, and the round-the-clock Huanggang Lok Ma Chau port, which is the earliest port to provide round-the-clock service, it has suspended cargo clearance. And with the suspension of service of the shuttlecock control point and the Hung Yuen Wai boundary control point in Hung Yuen Wai not providing round-the-clock service, we do not have the necessary facilities to make for round-the-clock land-based boundary transport. So I am hoping we can appropriately extend the operating hours. The original motion also talked about exploring the feasibility of implementing a one vehicle, multiple ports arrangement. I myself actually go to and from the mainland with land-based transport a lot, but I think we should be prudent. We need to really be bringing in investment and companies, and we also need to help companies go global. The Greater Bay Area is one of the greatest clusters in the world. It is also in a strategic position on the Marine Silk and Road. If we can leverage on our advantages, we can better integrate into the country and serve the country, bringing sustainable development to Hong Kong. I so submit speaking in support of the motion and the amendments. Mr. Pak-leung. Thank you, President. I very much thank Mr. Adrian HO for proposing the motion on how we can make land-based cross-boundary transport more efficient. This is a topic of concern for many. To promote integrated development of the Greater Bay Area and the smooth flow of people and vehicles, we need to make sure we have efficient clearance. We do much in facilitating passenger clearance, but with vehicle clearance, there is much room for improvement. the arrangements are inflexible because we only have designated ports. So people are pretty much stuck with one port, even when there is congestion. I'm hoping we can make use of technology to provide real-time information to provide more flexibility. My amendments mainly relate to having more direct access destinations for Express Rail Link and to expedite the development of the shuttlecock control point. I will elaborate on my amendments now. President, on improving Express Rail Link services, we should strive for more direct access mainland destinations. As Mr. Adrian HO said earlier, last year, we have seen a new high for passenger trips of the Express Rail Link. Why is the service so popular? It is because high-speed rail has this really good hub function. It is an advantage. If we have more direct access mainland destinations, it essentially plays the part of an aorta, facilitating the flow of people. So we really need more direct access mainland destinations. We should also have more trains leaving at night and arriving in the morning at destinations. After we have the trains going to Beijing, Shanghai being commissioned, we have a lot of people taking advantage of the service. And we have seen greater flow of people between Hong Kong and the central western part of the mainland. So I'm hoping we can have Hong Kong to Chengdu and Hong Kong to Xi'an evening trains, evening sleeper trains, so that we can provide more diversified commute options for passengers. I hope the government can also deepen collaboration with the railway authorities of the mainland to provide special ticketing arrangements. For some trains departing from West Kowloon to other destinations in transit, I think we can promote these so we can have passengers transiting in Guangzhou-Nan or Shenzhen Bay, and we can have baggage service provided to them so that they don't have to carry their baggage when transiting. It will really make for a more tight-knit network connecting Hong Kong to other secondary and tertiary cities. It should help us better integrate into the transport system of the country, and we can achieve connectivity, railway connectivity within the Greater Bay Area. Hunyuan boundary control point has a really heavy load route. I would say it is over its capacity. It is very important to have direct access to people and vehicles. This is why Hunyuan boundary control point is so popular, and we need to make sure other ports have that, especially for passenger clearance only ports, to provide a better experience to passengers. We should really expedite this. I hope that I can have member support. Thank you. Your time is up, Mr. Chong Ho-fung. I thank Mr. Adrian HO for proposing the motion. The development of the Greater Bay Area is a key national development strategy. We really need to seize the opportunity, enhance cross-boundary transport connectivity, and facilitate the flow of people, vehicles, and cargo so that we can integrate into the 1 hour living circle of the Greater Bay Area. We had many mainland visitors coming to Hong Kong to take part in mega events, but often they would go back on the same day due to different reasons, especially with the operating hours of boundary control points. If we can better the clearance arrangement, it will help retain them in Hong Kong. Hong Kong is also an important hub connecting the mainland and overseas in cargo transport. We need to better integrate into the Greater Bay Area. That is an undisputed fact. But if we have more ports open at the same time to private cars, it can actually hurt the local economy in consumption and retail. In 2024, the retail sales was down 7.3%. In 2025, the second half, we have seen a bit of a recovery, but the annual growth is just less than 1%. As we promote regional cooperation, we must carefully consider difficulties in local economy. We have seen more locals going north for consumption. It has really caused pressure on the retail and F&B industries in Hong Kong. Since July 2023, we have implemented northbound travel for Hong Kong vehicles. We have had over 3.86 million trips made. In 2025 alone, we had over 2.03 million trips. It is a 36% increase from before. In November, we have implemented the southbound travel for Guangdong vehicles arrangement, but with a daily quota of 100, and one cannot stay for more than 3 days. It would not boost the local economy significantly. And with various constraints, we will not see as many vehicles for southbound travel for Guangdong vehicles compared to the northbound travel for Hong Kong vehicles, which amounts to 3,000 vehicles per day. The amendments of various members are in line with the original motion. I think with cross-boundary transport policy, we need to consider also the difficulties in local economy as well as future economic growth, which is why in my amendments I talked about in particular that the relevant measures need to be implemented in a gradual manner. So I urge the government, while we provide more facilitation in cross-boundary transport, we need to accommodate the needs of the local market, such as the F&B and retail industries needs. We do not want to see more shops closing. I also want to talk about railway. Right now, to the east, we have East Rail Lane connecting Admiralty to Shenzhen, going past through two ports, one Luowu, the other Lok Ma Chau. But to the west of Hong Kong, it's only in 2034 that we will have a railway going from Qianhai to Hung Shui Kiu. It does not connect to the Victoria Harbourfront either. So I hope that we can have this railway line connected to Sunny Bay so passengers can make use of Tung Chung line to get to the Hong Kong island. I hope the government will consider this. I hope members will support my amendments.
Dr. Ben Chen, thank you, President. I also thank Mr. Adrian HO for moving today's motion on facilitating land-based cross-boundary transport. In fact, flow of people and goods is extremely crucial for the development of Hong Kong and the Bay Area as a whole. Every day, a large number of travelers cross the boundaries for traveling purposes or business. With the growing people flow, since the epidemic has ebbed, we still see major growth in people flow. On vehicular flow, before the epidemic, every day there were 20,000 private cars traveling across the border. Today, the number has grown to some 49,000. on a daily basis. So the increase has been 12% year on year for several years. It shows that we enjoy a much closer tie with the mainland. So in my amendment, I suggest implementing the collaborative inspection and joint clearance mode. As the Macau and Zhuhai BCP, with the collaborative inspection and joint clearance system, it is extremely convenient. You can enjoy joint clearance at once. Now the Huanggang port should implement this as well. Now I have visited the Huanggang port to learn about the new mode of customs clearance. Now for the redeveloped Huanggang port, there will be the collaborative inspection and joint clearance mode of clearance. And that is very convenient. Can the government negotiate with the mainland counterparts to duplicate the arrangements at other BCPs so as to make the customs clearance process more comfortable for travelers? Being caught up in a queue would lead to a lot of conflicts. So this joint clearance model is necessary. It is also very feasible. Concerning the original motion, that is the idea of one vehicle, multiple ports, we have been suggesting this for many years. For goods vehicle, there is the east in, east out, west in, west out model. In a sense, it is also one vehicle, multiple ports. If we extend this to private cars with a regular quota, if the quota is for a BCP in the west, but the destination is in the eastern side of Shenzhen, that would make the route very winding. Same vice versa. So there should be a primary BCP and a secondary BCP for the quota holder. For the secondary BCP, the driver will have to use the secondary one during non-peak hours. That can enhance the efficiency of customs clearance. Concerning the other suggestions in the original motion, that is optimizing the existing regular quota for drivers, well, I don't think we can afford to abuse the quota. If we distribute quota indiscriminately, that will lead to a lot of issues. Say, for example, if a large number of cars are given regular quotas, that would add to the burden of our road network. And for commercial vehicles, the impact would be huge. It may also lead to more cases of illegal hire vehicle for reward. Improving the management of BCP doesn't necessarily mean more manpower input. It's not a one-way route. With better management of our BCPs, we can receive more visitors. So let's do that and make our BCPs more convenient and receive more visitors. Whether we can attract more visitors depends on our service quality, whether we are creative, whether we are diverse and interesting, and whether our prices are affordable. So it doesn't mean that with a poorly managed BCP, people will stay in Hong Kong to consume, to spend the money. It all boils down to quality. For our BCP, we need to make it as convenient and comfortable as possible. This is the right way to go. It has no direct impact on local consumption. Thank you. Next, Mr. Lam Wai-kong. Thank you, President. I thank Mr. Adrian HO for moving this motion on facilitating land-based cross-boundary transport. The original motion focused on enhancing the convenience of cross-boundary traffic. I support this direction. However, to implement the policy and realize the goal, we need more than convenience. We need to enhance the enforceability of the arrangements. Now, I have made two critical amendments to the original motion to make it more pragmatic and to prevent potential conflicts. First, we need to establish a solid support system to ensure that the measure can be enforced in a highly effective manner. Now, we all agree that the one vehicle, multiple ports arrangement is a good direction, but its implementation relies on the support of strong administration. So I've added two elements. First, we need to strengthen the interface of e-government systems related to vehicle registration and driving licenses between Guangdong and Hong Kong. I'm not just talking about digitizing the workflow, but really take down the digital barrier and ensure that there is interfacing between the data of the two governments. Without this, the other enhancement measures cannot be effective. Second, before fully digitizing the system, we need to increase the manpower of departments, such as the transport departments, to handle relevant applications. Even with a good policy, the application time may be long with poor quality, leading to dissent if the manpower input is insufficient. So I stress that this is before the full digitalization of the applications process. We need to be people-centric. Second, my amendment emphasizes that we need to step up law enforcement and rigorously combat traffic offenses. Now, the intent of making our BCPs more convenient is to facilitate cross-boundary people flow and economic activities, but not creating a loophole for potential illegal behaviors. So I supplement by saying that we need to simultaneously step up law enforcement and rigorously combat illegal carriage of passengers and goods for reward by cross-boundary private car drivers. This addition is crucial for three reasons. One, we need to protect local employment. That is the lawful interest of our transportation stakeholders. Now, enforcement is not easy. Now, for construction sites, where the location is fixed, we can enforce the law easily on illegal workers. However, for illegal carriage of passengers and goods for reward, the cars are always moving. So besides setting up roadblocks and setting up sting operation, there are very few other means to enforce the law. So I suggest the law enforcement agencies to crack down on illegal workers and illegal carriage of passengers more effectively. Now, safety. For these illegal carriage for cars providing illegal carriage services, they are often less safe and it poses a risk to drivers and passengers. Now, we need to be orderly in the process. Only when the legislation is effective and the enforcement is also effective can we achieve our goal. Now, the FTU's mainland consultation centers have received a lot of inquiries from Hong Kongers on the one vehicle, multiple ports concept. But we understand that it needs discussion with the mainland government. So we call for the government to pick up pace in discussing the feasibility of these arrangements with your counterparts. Now, first of all, we need to enhance our capability to support this policy. Second, we need to enhance regulation and safety through enforcement. Your time's up. Please stop. Mr. Erik Yim. Thank you, President. I thank Mr. Adrian HO for moving this motion, which allows us to have a discussion on facilitating land-based cross-boundary transport. Now, this is key to the interconnectivity within the Bay Area. The 15th Five-Year Plan stresses speeding up the developments of a strong nation in transportation. So in my amendment, I suggest the government considers the new trend and promotes diversified developments of our transportation system. First of all, we need to enhance the usage of green energy transports, for example, hydrogen-fueled vehicles on the roads. By the end of last year, the ministries and provincial governments have issued some 70 policy measures to promote the use of methanol vehicles. In terms of strengthening the use of methane, it has now become very popular. Now, according to estimation, by 2030, the mainland methanol vehicle market will exceed 2 million. However, we are just beginning to have methane bunkering facilities. We need to adjust our law rapidly. We need to gradually promote the use of electric buses using methane as fuel. Now, with a single injection of methane, a bus can run for some 700 kilometers, covering the majority of GBA. Now, with methanol bunkering facilities, we can speed up the turnaround of charging. Now, it can also save some 60% in energy cost. Now, second, we need to implement reform by introducing national standards for our transportation system. Now, in terms of engineering and other aspects, we have introduced Guobiao national standards to speed up the pace of development. Now, we should draw reference from this to advance the timetable on methanol public buses. Now, we are predominantly adopting European standards for our buses. However, European standards do not cover methanol vehicles. That's why we still don't have methanol buses in Hong Kong. I suggest the governments make reference to leading economy standard for new energy buses, including methanol buses. Now, in October last year, the LegCo has passed the Dutiable Commodities Ordinance Amendments 2025. Tax concession is provided to vessels running on methane. It will help Hong Kong to become a methane bunkering hub. Now, we should include green energy for land-based transport as well, so as to enhance our position as a green fuel bunkering center. At the BCPs, we need to install more fast charging poles as well as other bunkering facilities for new energy transport. President, I look forward to seeing Hong Kong grasp the opportunity of the green transformation of public transport and turn our advantage into convenient and diversified land-based transport, boosting our economy and helping the country. I so submit to support the motion and the amendments.
Secretary for Transport and Logistics. President, since the establishment of the Hong Kong SAR, integration with the mainland has been accelerated. Since the promulgation of the outline development plan for the development of the Greater Bay Area, the three governments in Guangdong, Hong Kong, and Macau have been working in close collaboration. In accordance with national policies, they have been promoting economic integration and deepening connectivity in the Greater Bay Area, advancing high-quality development as well. Coupled with the continued opening policies for mainland residents visiting Hong Kong, northbound and southbound travel has become increasingly normalized, bringing significant growth in demand for transport connections in the area and with it boundless opportunities. Hong Kong possesses world-class transport infrastructure and a public transport system with railway at its backbone, which work together to provide diversified modes of transport. The network is developed in coordination with new control points and also with existing control points to enhance clearance capacity. The Hong Kong SAR government continues to work with the Guangdong and Macau governments to progressively upgrade transport infrastructure and cross-boundary transport services, while formulating innovative policies for the movement of vehicles in the area and supporting traffic management measures. We've increased the number of land boundary control points to 9 in total. The government plans suitable public transport feeder services according to the nature and positioning of each control point to meet the increased demand for land cross-boundary travel. On cross-boundary rail transport, Lo Wu Control Point and Lok Ma Chau Spur Line Control Point serve as railway control points, with the MTRC providing East Rail Line cross-boundary services. Now, cross-boundary passengers traveling to and from the control point can also use the franchise bus, public light bus, as well as taxi services. The high-speed rail Hong Kong section commenced operation in 2018. It provides cross-boundary passengers with new and more direct rail travel option connecting to the national network. The high-speed rail currently connects to the 48,000-kilometer national high-speed rail network with direct services to 110 mainland stations from the 26th of January this year, operating at least 212 daily train services. With the convenient co-location arrangements and efficient services, the high-speed rail Hong Kong section has attracted a large number of passengers with cumulative patronage exceeding 100 million passenger trips. It is an important component of the one-hour living circle in the Greater Bay Area. It consolidates Hong Kong's position as a regional transport hub. The government will continue to work with the MTRC and mainland authorities to enhance XRL services so as to fully realize the socio-economic benefits of high-speed rail and the advantages of enhanced connectivity with the national high-speed rail network. As for road transport, there are multiple franchise bus and GMB routes connecting different locations in Hong Kong with various control points to cater for the public's cross-boundary travel needs. When planning for the public transport network, the government will comprehensively consider passenger demand, the design and space of control points, actual traffic conditions, etc. to maintain the high efficiency of the local transport system serving various boundary control points. We will monitor the services and provide timely guidance and coordination to local public transport operators. Based on the capacities of various land boundary control points, suitable and sufficient cross-boundary coaches, shuttle buses, and cross-boundary car hire services are provided. To tie in with the commissioning of the new Huanggang control point, the Transport Department is currently planning suitable public transport services, including franchise bus, GMB, and taxi, with direct access to the control point, while the Northern Link Spur Line connecting Shantin Station and Shenzhen's new Huanggang control point is expected to open at the same time with the Northern Link Main Line in 2034 or before. During peak travel periods, especially during long holidays, the government will, as in the past, formulate contingency plans with various transport operators, arrange additional manpower and vehicles in advance to flexibly respond to demand and expedite passenger flow. We'll also coordinate with mainland and Macau counterparts to issue ad hoc quotas for cross-boundary coaches to increase service frequency. On the other hand, the governments of Guangdong, Hong Kong, and Macau increased the number of cross-boundary private cars in an orderly manner according to the existing mechanism of regular quota for cross-boundary private cars. The Hong Kong and Macau authorities jointly manage the regular quota system, and the two governments have been closely monitoring the quota utilization and reviewing and optimizing arrangements in a timely manner. Currently, the number of quotas has increased to about 17,000. As reported to the Electrical Panel on Transport in June 2024, we will allocate part of the new quota for application by all Hong Kong permanent residents and Hong Kong registered companies. That means applicants will not be subject to the current application eligibility restrictions. Macau has implemented the arrangement earlier with a view to further utilizing the Hong Kong-Zhuhai-Macau Bridge and promoting the flow of people between Hong Kong and Macau. As for the regular quota system for Guangdong and Hong Kong cross-boundary private cars, there are calls for a study for one vehicle, multiple ports. that is allowing private cars holding vehicle plates from both Guangdong and Hong Kong to choose other control points for traveling between Guangdong and Hong Kong, in addition to the originally designated control points. The government welcomes such suggestions so as to further facilitate transport connectivity between Guangdong and Hong Kong. I look forward to hearing the views of members in due course. Upholding the spirit of innovation and change in order to enhance the convenience of people and vehicular flow in the Greater Bay Area, we launched the northbound travel for Hong Kong vehicles in July 2023, and we also rolled out the southbound travel for Guangdong vehicles at the end of last year. These two measures complement each other. It deepens two-way travel for residents of both places. Northbound travel scheme has widely been welcomed by Hong Kong residents since its launch, with travel trips accounting for about 40% of the total bridges vehicular flow. Users of southbound travel scheme have also responded favorably. The car parks have had 2,000 vehicle trips with advanced reservations, and that we've received for entry into city centre over 2,500 applications and over 1,000 bookings. The scheme is particularly popular during holidays. More participants will make reservations to visit Hong Kong in future. Now, for northbound travel for Hong Kong vehicles, we have made improvements to the arrangements, including vehicle inspection renewal, shortening the advanced reservation period, and cancelling the reservation arrangement for weekdays on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. We'll also continue to enhance the southbound travel for Guangdong vehicles arrangements according to the four major strategies of ensuring safety, effective diversion, comprehensive supporting facilities, and simplified application so as to improve arrangements. The government has also introduced facilitation measures on licensing matters. We leverage technology to increase efficiency. We thank LegCo for passing legislative amendments. From October 2025, the Transport Department allows online application and issuance of e-versions of International Circulation Permits, or ICP, and applicants only need to submit valid insurance proof on the day of the permit takes effect while making for application. This will reduce the chance of the processing period eating into the insurance validity period. For closed road permits, the Transport Department has exempted vehicles under the designated cross-boundary driving schemes from the applications, and they only need to apply to the Transport Department for the participation without the need to apply for permits. The validity period for closed road permits for other vehicles will be extended to a maximum of 60 months. There is no need for quota holders to renew permits annually. For the direct issue of Hong Kong full driving license or direct issue arrangement, applicants can make advance booking through the online booking system or use counter services with the online same-day queue ticket system to submit applications. It completely replaces the on-site ticket system to ensure fair and orderly use of services by those in need. To prepare for the full launch of the online counter service arrangement, the Transport Department has been carrying out preparation to optimize the system over the recent months and is currently conducting the final stage of work to ensure system stability, including strengthening the virtual queuing system, using iSmart and AI to verify applicants' identities using one-time password verification. We'll strive to launch the comprehensive online booking system as soon as possible. We'll also actively look into the use of AI to process direct issue application so that applicants can just upload documents on the new online platform for preliminary vetting and then visit the licensing office according to the reserved time slot to verify original documents so as to ensure a smooth and efficient process. Now, on control point services, the government has been closely monitoring the operation of various boundary control points to facilitate two-way travel between Hong Kong and mainland residents. In the face of continuous cross-boundary travel demand, the SAR government has been working in close collaboration with the mainland counterparts to enhance the overall clearance capacity of land control points from multiple aspects such as planning, coordination, manpower, and facilities. I so submit. I'll be happy to take views from members, and along with the other bureau chief, I will respond to these views.
Dr. Thomas So. Thank you, President. I speak in support of Mr. Adrian Ho's original motion and the amendments proposed by the 6 other members. I note that the original motion and the amendments focus on integration of rules and technology to promote cross-boundary transport. I support this direction. I want to focus in particular today on alignment of rules to facilitate land-based cross-boundary transport. This may sound technical, but it actually is highly relevant to passenger experience. Before, in Luwu and Lok Ma Chau ports, they have separate inspections on each side. And with the alignment of rules and amendments of laws, the Shenzhen Bay port and the West Kowloon station have implemented co-location arrangements, greatly enhancing efficiency. In the new Wai-kong port, the collaborative inspection and joint clearance mode will be implemented. It will enhance efficiency even further. And we have great examples such as southbound travel for Guangdong vehicles and northbound travel for Hong Kong vehicles, benefiting the public and boosting economy. We have plans for a new railway line between Hongshui and Shanghai, and with the newly commissioned Hong Wai boundary control point providing direct access to people and vehicles. We have the average passenger trips passing 70,000, which is far beyond its capacity in design 30,000. So there is great potential to be tapped into with railway connection. The collaborative inspection and joint clearance mode is key to enhancing efficiency and facilitating land-based cross-boundary transport. I have 3 suggestions. 1, we should extend the operating hours of control point services. Right now, only the Huanggang Port and Shenzhen Bay Port provide round-the-clock service. There have been calls in society to extend the operating hours of other boundary control points. I support this view. I think with mutual enforcement and coordination in management, we can extend the operating hours of control points. We also need to expedite the progress of construction of connections in railway systems. We have the Shenzhen MTR connecting to 6 ports. We really need to catch up with their progress. Since we already have plans to develop boundary economy in the northern metropolis, the government really has to expedite the enhancement in accessibility of ports and to make sure we are considering the relevant economic activities and benefits in our plans. We should also facilitate public officials and public officers access to and from Hong Kong and the mainland. And we had before where we had mega events that wanted the participation of public officers from the mainland, but it often took long before in experience. We should have facilitation arrangements for mainland public officers coming to Hong Kong, taking part in international activities. Collaborative inspection and joint clearance arrangements as part of alignment of rules will help enhance efficiency and promote integration. I think the relevant arrangements can be extended to other ports to respond to public expectations and enhance competitiveness of Hong Kong. I so submit. Thank you, President. Mr. Robert Lee. Thank you, President. As we integrate into the country's development, the government has to continuously enhance the quality of Hong Kong's infrastructure and promote exchanges of talents within the Greater Bay Area, as well as promote the development of finance and the economy. I speak in support of Mr. Adrian HO's original motion. I have 2 parts in my speech. One is about how important it is to enhance clearance efficiency to the development of the economy, and then my views on cross-boundary transport infrastructure. As we have the commissioning of the Hong Kong Shenzhen INT Park, we will have more connectivity in INT professional services and commerce. We need to really enhance transport infrastructure connectivity within the Greater Bay Area to instill confidence in industries. We have seen before, we have plans to work with the governments of the mainland, coordinating the different arrangements and making use of the collaborative inspection and joint clearance mode. I believe with this, it should shorten the time needed for clearance and have more commercial visitors coming to Hong Kong. The southbound travel for Guangdong vehicles flexible arrangements will facilitate more visitors coming to Hong Kong, boosting the retail sector of Hong Kong. There are some who are concerned that this may cause pressure on Hong Kong's road system, but I think with proper controls it is doable. And the government can also conduct surveys to ask about the purpose of visit of southbound travel for Guangdong vehicles travelers, so as to better gauge the situation. I agree with what Mr. Erik Yim said about having more quick charges at boundary control points, but we have different standards for charging infrastructure. We need to really promote to mainland travelers to make sure they bring adapters so that they can make use of Hong Kong's charging facilities. I also urge the government to enhance awareness on the differences of driving habits on both sides and remind drivers to comply with local traffic rules to minimize the chance of traffic accidents. I also agree with what Mr. Pak-leung said, that we should strive for more direct access mainland destinations and expedite the redevelopment of the shuttlecock control point. I suggest that we should increase the frequency of trains that only have one train trip per day to provide facilitation to travelers. The new Hong Kong port will be commissioned this year and it will make use of the co-location arrangements. I urge the government to review the effectiveness of the clearance arrangements at the Hong Kong port and make use of the experience in the redeveloped shuttlecock control point. Right now, the Lok Ma Chau port and the Hong Kong-Zhuhai-Macau Bridge provide round-the-clock passenger clearance service. I suggest that on this basis, the administration can work with mainland authorities to extend operating hours of other control points to prevent crowds from forming on festive occasions at certain ports, causing congestion. I think the government needs to attach great importance to the efficiency of clearance as well as cross-boundary transport to boost cross-boundary economic activities, and while having Hong Kong's road system capacity in mind. Thank you. Mr. Hong Kam-in. President, I speak in support of the motion and all the amendments. The integrated development of the Greater Bay Area relies on the high-level connectivity of people and other forms of data other forms of inputs. The government has been working hard to improve infrastructure. We had the expressway link. We have commissioned the Ho Yuen Wai boundary control point. We also have northbound travel for Hong Kong vehicles. According to data, we have more cross-boundary private cars making use of land-based boundary control points in the first 10 months of 2025 compared to the same period in 2024. We have seen a significant increase in traffic. So it really shows there is great demand for transport infrastructure. cross-boundary transport infrastructure. And it is also important that we look at the experience of Macau to enhance clearance efficiency. The DAB suggested referring to the experience of Qingmao and Hengqin ports. With their measures, they have lessened clearance time by 20 seconds. And Macau actually has 3 round-the-clock ports meeting people's demand. Hong Kong only has the Huanggang port providing round-the-clock service. With the development of the Northern Metropolis, we need to plan ahead and make changes. I suggest that for Shenzhen Bay and Hanyun Wai and other major ports, we need to extend the operating hours. And after the Huanggang port and the shuttlecock boundary control point have been redeveloped, we need to implement collaborative inspection and joint clearance mode. I have the following suggestions. For cross-boundary railway infrastructure, especially the Hong Kong Western Railway as well as Hongshui-Qiu-Chen-Hai Railway Line, they are very important to the development of the Northern Metropolis. It will greatly shorten the commute within the western part of the Greater Bay Area. It is a big part of the strategy. The government needs to have clear plans and a good construction timeline. In terms of alignment, the government has to accommodate the needs of residents to make sure we maximize efficiency. We also need to implement one vehicle, multiple ports arrangement and expand the arrangements for northbound travel for Hong Kong vehicles. Right now, the arrangements lack flexibility. I urge the government to remove relevant unnecessary restrictions so that vehicle owners can pick the port most suitable for them. And we can also make use of the east in, east out, west in, west out arrangements to divert traffic. We should also expand the Hong Kong vehicles northbound travel arrangements to the 3 Shenzhen land-based ports. We should also have more round-the-clock ports. We already have good railway boundary control points. Now the land-based boundary control points have to catch up. And in the eastern, central, and western parts of Shenzhen, they all have round-the-clock ports. So we should actively work with the mainland to achieve this. And we want to enhance efficiency and remove barriers in manpower and hours. It is very important for us to improve our land-based cross-boundary transport arrangements to tap into new opportunities. I hope the government will actively work with the mainland in coordination and implement various measures. I so submit.
Mr. Ken Wong. President, I speak in support of Mr. Adrian Ho's original motion. For Hong Kong, Macau, and various cities in Guangdong province, we form a very close circle. And the 1 Hour Living Circle in the Greater Bay Area also forms a very important foundation in closer collaboration among Guangdong, Hong Kong, and Macau. In order to promote the flow of people in the 3 places, the government has rolled out policies such as northbound travel for Hong Kong vehicles and southbound travel for Guangdong vehicles, as well as the construction of the Hong Kong-Zhuhai-Macau Bridge. Now that the flow of people in the 3 places have increased, these schemes are widely popular, and yet there is still room for improvement. For example, there should be more flexible arrangement in terms of the application procedures and the use of quotas. Now, because of the technical requirements, it's very difficult to win in the balloting process. The government should optimize the application process for cross-boundary driving licenses as well as the registration process. AI and big data analytics should be used to monitor the traffic flow in major roads in Hong Kong how congested they are, as well as the utilization of car parks in the city, so that we can conduct scientific analysis on the capacity of major roads in Hong Kong. And then on this basis, we can then allocate quotas flexibly in the southbound travel for Guangdong vehicle scheme. The next point is about harmonizing the standard for the VLTs, and that is for the light transmission for car windows. Now, there are different VLT standards adopted in the mainland and in Hong Kong, and this gives a perception of double standard. The government should conduct consultation as quickly as possible and roll out a proposal to make sure that the rules in the two places are aligned to ensure fairness and allay public concerns. The third point is about driving training. In terms of traffic rules and driving habits, things are very different in the three places. For northbound travel for Hong Kong vehicles, not many training courses are available, and they are costly. For southbound travel for Guangdong vehicles, there is a lack of official guide. People rely on information they get from the internet, and there are safety hazards. The government should take the lead and work with the Guangdong and Macau governments so as to draw up common standards and provide training modules. We can have regard to the differences in the driving habits and rules in the three places and provide training. There should also be subsidies to training courses run by the three places, and training can be organized both online, offline. The cost should be such that it is drivers find it affordable. This can enhance road safety. The fourth point is about the handling of traffic incidents, insurance, compensation, and support mechanism. Now, in order to enhance efficiency, clear guidance should be provided. The government should consolidate guidance provided by different departments, and that one-stop mechanism should be set up to help the public in the face of traffic incidents. Now, President, it is important to improve cross-boundary transport. It's not just about transport infrastructure. It is also about Hong Kong's integration into our country and being the driver of the GBA development, so that we can promote the flow of people, capital, goods, and information in the area, and bring an impetus to economic development. And that is why we must be pragmatic in drawing up solutions to tackle existing problems so as to achieve mutual benefits. I think if we're able to optimize the policies and provide greater supporting measures, we'll be able to bring more benefits to people. Mr. Scott-Leung. Now, cross-boundary transport is not just about enhancing infrastructure, it's also about enhancing Hong Kong's competitiveness and active integration into the Greater Bay Area. Now, I support this motion. I'd like to focus on two things. First, the West Kowloon high-speed rail terminus, as well as the suggestion of railway connection between Hong Kong and Shenzhen airports. Now, with integration with the Greater Bay Area, nowadays many visitors from Hong Kong would travel to the mainland for sightseeing and for business. The high-speed rail West Kowloon Terminus is a window that connects Hong Kong to the national railway network. And it's also how people get the first impression about Hong Kong. So service quality is of importance. We serve business travelers and high-spending travelers, but we should further improve the facilities to provide quality services, and in order to enhance their experience at the terminus. Now, following the practice in the mainland, we should provide special waiting lounges for business travelers, and also we should also improve the environment in general. We should give priority to business travelers. To board the train, there should be a special cabin for refreshment for business travelers, so that they can chill whilst taking high-speed rail, and they will feel the hospitality of Hong Kong when they come and when they leave Hong Kong. And people will also travel to Shenzhen North and Guangzhou South via high-speed rail. And they offer refreshment kiosks and lounges, a very comfortable waiting area for visitors, and passengers can also buy souvenirs there. In our terminals, however, I'd say that we are short of facilities. We don't have sufficient restaurants, shops, and that right before the passengers board the train, they use mobile apps to buy what they need. So for long-haul travelers, it's really inconvenient. As I've always said, I think we should set up more shops and restaurants, retail outlets at the departure floor of the high-speed rail station so that we can boost local spending as well as help visitors gain a better experience. Now, we need to enhance mutual connectivity with the Greater Bay Area, and that means we should consolidate the rail networks and connectivity with the airport. We're talking, and I'm talking about Hongshui-Kiu-Tianhai Railway. I think that it should be further extended from Hongshui-Kiu to Sunny Bay and even to the airport in Hong Kong, so that through this railway line, passengers can board in Tianhai and then they can go through Hongshui-Kiu, Sunny Bay onto the Hong Kong International Airport. And residents in NT Northwest can also make use of this route to access the airport quickly, and this will enhance our status as a regional aviation hub. So we can form a true corridor, that rail corridor that connects the Hong Kong airport and Shenzhen airport. Transit passengers can take this rail to go from one airport to another. This can bolster our status as an international aviation hub in the region. We can also attract visitors from other places and the mainland to use either the Shenzhen airport and Hong Kong airport so that we can give play to the effectiveness of the intermodal transport. We also need to improve facilities. In order to do that, we need to have long-term planning. We need to connect the railway lines not only to the airport but also to other ports, and including land-based cross-boundary boundary control points, because Hong Kong is an international city for tourists and locals as well as businessmen. I support the motion and the amendments. Mr. Jonathan Leung. Now, since the launch of the northbound travel for Hong Kong vehicle scheme, it's been more convenient for Hong Kong residents to travel up north, and this further deals a blow to the retail and catering sectors in Hong Kong because people now go up north to spend money. 60% of respondents in the survey said that they find the pattern having a negative impact on their businesses. Now, in order to reverse the trend, the government should expedite its pace in expanding the southbound travel for Guangdong vehicles. For visitors coming under this scheme, they are mostly medium to high income earners, and they come as a family and they tend to stay overnight in Hong Kong. They have higher spending power. They can spend money in our restaurants and shops, and this can make up for the loss of local consumption power because of northbound consumption. Since the beginning of 2025, the southbound travel scheme allowed 100 cars to come, and then they can stay for a maximum of 3 days. That's 300 cars in total. Now, as for the online hire ordinance, if it is passed, we'll be able to phase out the illegal drivers, and then this will further enhance our road capacity. In fact, in the beginning of 2026, we received some 2,500 applications. 1,000 of them have successfully made bookings to come to Hong Kong. That shows the great appeal of the southbound travel scheme, and the government can continue to increase quotas to attract more visitors to come. But according to my friends in the mainland, people find it difficult to to apply for a license. And as this morning's discussion goes, we have the so-called queuing gangs causing problems, and people had to visit the license office in Admiralty to get a license. I hope the government can make use of technology because if the procedures become digitalized, there is no need to visit the service counters, and it will be convenient for drivers to get Hong Kong full driving license under the direct issue arrangement. Now, mainland drivers can make use of the Hong Kong-Zhuhai-Macau Bridge. It's very convenient for access to the four cities, but it's not as convenient for those living in Guangzhou. We should further expand the scheme to cover the city in Guangdong. And the Shenzhen municipal government has implemented the arrangement for container trucks to go to use a east in, east out, and west out approach. We should consider allowing one vehicle to use multiple ports as long as the southbound travel scheme is proven successful in the future. Now, for the Liberal Party, we also welcome more destinations, more routes of the high-speed rail service. There will be 16 additional stops, including Nanjing, Wuxi, and Hefei, and there are also for the Hongqiao in Shanghai, the departures will increase from once every day to once every 3 days, and they will further boost the local consumption, especially for the catering and retail sectors in Hong Kong, as people in more remote mainland cities come to Hong Kong and stay overnight. The high-speed rail development has helped build the 1-hour living circle in the Greater Bay Area. The government should strive for more facilitation measures, and that the multiple visa arrangement should be extended to more mainland cities to attract them to come and spend money here. And we can also make it convenient for visitors to first come to Hong Kong before going on to other places in the mainland through high-speed rail. This can bolster our status as a tourism hub as well as a regional logistics hub. I so submit I support the motion and the amendments.
Mr. Yuming. Thank you, President. I speak in support of the original motion and all the amendments. Hong Kong is an international financial center. We are the southern gateway of the country. We're now moving from stability to prosperity. The Northern Metropolis is our major growth engine, covering the Lothair Innovation Area and Sentinel Pole and so on. There will be some 2.5 million people living there with a lot of job opportunities. Now, with roads, we can bring in capital and people. Roads are the major arteries of the Northern Metropolis. We have to enhance the convenience of the BCPs and enhance connectivity with public transport and cars, so as to unleash the potential of the Northern Metropolis. Over the past weekend, I and my colleagues have visited the construction site of the Huanggang port. Glass facade has already been put up. Progress is good. It will be commissioned in the middle of this year. The collaborative inspection and joint clearance model will be adopted. Customs clearance will only need 5 minutes instead of half an hour. A lot less manpower will be required. We can study whether we can apply this model to other BCPs as well. On further enhancing the efficiency of land-based transport, we need to speed up the main line and spur line of Northern Rail Link. In the next few years, Fanling North and Kudong North will bring in some 200,000 new residents. By then, a large number of people will be using the Huanggang port to travel across the border. The Northern Link spur line will be the main artery connecting our railway network with Shenzhen. With the completion of the spur line, it will be very convenient. We need to press ahead with the timetable to accommodate the 300,000 people crossing across the border every day. Now, we need to announce the major alignments of the railway as soon as possible and extend the connection to Shuttlecock Road. It will serve the new Huanggang port and also connect all the major nodes in the northern metropolis. With the direct access to people and vehicles, we can adopt the joint clearance and collaborative inspection model and alleviate the pressure on existing BCPs while enhancing the new territories' north transportation network. On shuttlecock, I support the amendments from Mr. Pak-leung, that is to speed up the redevelopment of the shuttlecock port. Now, since the epidemic, shuttlecock has stopped processing cross-boundary travelers. Travelers have to take a very long route to reach the destination in the mainland. It is very inconvenient to residents from shuttlecock. They need to use the Liantang BCP instead, greatly affecting the travel. So we need to enhance ancillary support in the area, including transport network, commercial and livelihood facilities, so that once the port is reopened, it can function fully. It will be a pure passenger or pedestrians-based port. Now, if we can make sure that this port is managed properly, we can alleviate the pressure on the Hyungyun-Wai BCP in the east, while enhancing the economic integration with Shenzhen East. President, the ultimate goal of facilitating land-based cross-boundary transport is not only for convenience. It will also bring in more capital and logistics. So we need to make advanced planning to seize this opportunity so that we can make our lives and commercial activities more convenient. Mr. Professor William Wong. Thank you, President. With more traffic between Hong Kong and the mainland, there are now 9 BCPs between us. Whenever there are festivities or mega events, there are usually long queues of people and cars near the BCP. If we can comprehensively enhance the efficiency and convenience of BCP custom clearance, we can further boost the integration of GBA and unleash the vibrancy in the area. There are 4 things we can do. 1, empowering the interfacing of transportation policies with technology. Now, with closer ties between the 2 places in terms of commerce and people exchange, together with the southbound travel and northbound travel schemes, there are more and more vehicles traveling across the border. We need to enhance the smart integration of government services between the 2 places. For example, Hong Kongers may use the I'm Smart, while Shenzhen residents can use their own app to inquire and handle matters in relation to cross-boundary vehicle licenses. For example, application, access to traffic records, authenticating applications, and so on. This will greatly reduce the burden and cost on application of cross-boundary license. 2, we need to enhance the service of the Hong Kong section of the express rail link and strengthen the 1-hour living circle in the Bay Area. Now, the first departure at West Kowloon Station is 7:01 a.m., while Shenzhen North Station has the first departure at 6:08 to Guangzhou South. The government should discuss with the nation's railway departments to strive for earlier departure from West Kowloon Station to tie in with the first departures in other mainland stations. Also, for people with frequent cross-boundary travel needs, they would like to see express railway being managed like MTR. So there should be more no-seat tickets available, and also facilitating passengers to interchange to other departures. 3, we need to increase customs clearance support. As a mega event city, a lot of mainland visitors come to Hong Kong for our mega events. Whenever there are large-scale activities, there would be congestion at BCPs. We can make use of AI to analyze the data of people leaving mega events and direct more taxis and buses to redirect participants to other BCPs. Now, in the past, there have been occasions where travelers lost their access to internet so that they could not use MTR services. So we need to conduct loading tests covering Wi-Fi and internet connectivity to strengthen the BCP's capability to cope with emergencies and high people flow. Fourth, we need to align our transport legislation. Now, with the development of southbound travel scheme as well as the rapid development of INT in the mainland, there will be more and more vehicles with automated functions coming to Hong Kong. Now, we need to speed up studying legislation for driverless vehicles to facilitate alignment of our legislations and also to respond to the development goal on the Smart City Blueprints 2.0. Now, we need to connect the roads to bring in capital. Let's enhance our road transport system and facilitates the in-depth connectivity between the three places. I support the motion and the amendments. Mr. Brave Chen, thank you, Deputy President, and thank you, government officials. I thank Mr. Adrian HO and the amenders for their proposals. Now I will focus on enhancing the in-depth connectivity in the Bay Area and, in particular, traffic laws. Now, 2 days ago, I and Mr. Ben Chen and my colleagues, as well as other representatives, visited the Joint Clearance building in the redeveloped Wangang port. It is a very modern and futuristic building. Now, the ties between Hong Kong and our mainland sister cities have become much closer. So we hope that in the future there will be greater exchange between the two places in terms of people, data, and capital. That's also what Mr. John Lee has been calling for. High quality connectivity between the three places as well as connecting our systems. Now, according to the outline development plan for GBA, it is expected that by a few years' time, the economy will grow beyond $10 trillion. President Xi also mentioned that we need to step up collaboration in terms of INT developments and infrastructure in the Bay Area. Our rules must also be connected. So according to the statistics, there is proven demand. In terms of private cars, at the 4 BCPs, that is Hong Kong, Zhuhai, Macau Bridge, Shenzhen Bay, Heung Yun, Wai, and Lok Ma Chau ports, vehicular flow has increased by 10%. Just last year, the total vehicular trips was 48,000 per day for the 4 ports, 15% growth compared to the previous year. That is good. The more robust the exchanges, the better for our economy. There were some 100 million passenger trips altogether, and also with express rail link, we can cross to Hengqin. 20 seconds will have the custom clearance procedures completed. The joint inspection collaborative clearance model has been in use. So you only need to walk 10 meters and then the procedures are completed. There is facial recognition for contactless customs clearance. During the national games, where there was long distance running and bicycles, facial recognition technology was used. Of course, it it is a matter of resources and manpower. So the DAB has been proposing our suggestions during the 2 sessions. One vehicle, multiple ports, east in, east out, so that drivers don't have to be caught up in congestion on both sides. Now we have apps to make available data to drivers so that they will know how to time their travel for the lowest cost. Now, with the commissioning of the redeveloped Wai-kong port, these new infrastructure and innovative policy measures will be implemented soon. Now, the government may have difficulty splashing out to update the infrastructure at once, but we can do it bit by bit. Let's do this on a trial basis and expand it gradually. More importantly, there are some ports without around-the-clock custom clearance service. We should gradually make all the BCP around the clock, at least extend the service for an hour. So we suggest that the government works it out with the governments in Shenzhen and Zhuhai in terms of enhancing the land-based cross-boundary connectivity. Let's seize the opportunity together. It will promote the connectivity of people's hearts as well as logistically as well. This will help Hong Kong to better integrate into the national blueprint.
Mr. Chen Pok-chi. Deputy President, in recent years we have seen more frequent flows between Guangdong and Hong Kong. According to the Transport Department's figures, between January and October in 2025, Hung Yuen-wai and Shenzhen Bay ports saw double-digit growth compared to the year before. And for the Hung Yuen-wai boundary control point in particular, it reached 21.8%. The figures demonstrate the advantages of integration within the Greater Bay Area. Enhancing clearance at ports will help us facilitate the flow of different factor input. As we have policy measures such as northbound travel for Hong Kong vehicles implemented, many people make use of private cars to travel between Guangdong and Hong Kong, so related measures are very much relevant to how we can better integrate into the Greater Bay Area. I have 6 suggestions. One, we should look into improving one vehicle, multiple ports arrangements to allow vehicle owners to flexibly choose the port they want to travel through to enhance flexibility. 2, to have for example, Hung Yuen-wai and Shenzhen Bay ports implement the collaborative inspection and joint clearance mode, make use of smart equipment to identify registration marks, and implement contactless clearance so that we can remove restrictions in manpower. We should also expand the coverage and increase the quotas for northbound travel for Hong Kong vehicles to allow citizens to use more ports to meet citizens' demand. We should also make sure for Shenzhen Bay and Hung Yuen-wai boundary control points and some major ports to have round-the-clock clearance for private cars to improve accessibility. We also need to enhance integration and interfacing of e-government systems between Guangdong and Hong Kong to streamline the approval and renewal processes for permits and licenses. We should have everything done digitally so that vehicle owners do not have to go to specific locations to do these administrative processes. I also suggest there should be a 3-year action plan for the alignment of services between the governments on both sides and to have e-home return permit so that we can better integrate into the country with application of technology. The National 15 5-year plan promotes high-quality development and connectivity between the mainland and Hong Kong. Improving land-based cross-boundary transport will not only help us better integrate into the Greater Bay Area, but allow the public to really benefit from it, boosting consumption, tourism, and development potential. It will be a win-win for both Guangdong and Hong Kong. I hope the government can explore the implementation of various enhancement measures as soon as possible to make cross-boundary transport more flexible and more convenient for the people and help Hong Kong better integrate into the Greater Bay Area and allow the public to really reap the fruits of Hong Kong integrating into the development of the country. I so submit speaking in support of the motion and the amendments. Mr. Chen Siu-hong, Deputy President, I speak in support of Mr. Adrian Ho's original motion and the amendments of other members. We need to really consolidate and enhance high-quality development of the Greater Bay Area because this is what is said in the National 15 5-year plan. Hong Kong should really align with the National Development Strategy, enhance connectivity within the Greater Bay Area, and to have coordinated high-quality development in the region. Facilitating land-based cross-boundary transport is a win-win and important coordinated development measure. It can help create greater impetus for growth and Hong Kong's integration into development of the country. The northbound travel for Hong Kong vehicles and southbound travel for Guangdong vehicles are important measures that breaks through institutional barriers between the restrictions posed by jurisdictions. We have the flow of vehicles promoting the flow of people and factor input, allowing for a deeper integration. There is greater value in this because it is also enhancing the alignment of rules and mechanisms in Guangdong, Hong Kong, and Macau, and it breaks through the restrictions of integration within the Greater Bay Area. It lays the foundations for high-quality development for the Greater Bay Area. We have seen the southbound travel for Guangdong vehicles and northbound travel for Hong Kong vehicles being quite popular. It has caused very busy traffic at the Hong Kong-Zhuhai-Macau Bridge. The Secretary for Transport and Logistics said the southbound travel for Guangdong vehicles scheme will soon be expanded to other 4 cities in the Guangdong province, and the government also keeps an open mind on the increase of quotas as well as the number of days that people can stay. I suggest the governments on both sides should really think about expanding capacity with different ways and make use of technology and smart traffic systems to coordinate traffic measures with real-time data to minimize congestion and provide a better experience for travelers. Deputy President, I speak in support of the original motion. What is said about enhancing the processes related to cross-boundary driving, such as license applications and registration arrangements. I suggest that there should be better interfacing of the e-government systems between the two sides. We have more Guangdong vehicles will definitely boost the economy of Hong Kong, but we also need to consider the capacity of Hong Kong. We can accommodate the increased traffic. I suggest that the government take a gradual approach, and with more data and experience, we can increase the number of quotas in an orderly manner. I understand and agree with what the Chief Executive said earlier. If we do not have some sort of control in place, some more accessible ports will see a significant increase in traffic. And because the ports aren't just related to Hong Kong. We really need to coordinate with the government of Guangdong province as well. We should conduct studies and we should listen to feedback. I think the reopening of the new Hong Kong port will be a good opportunity for us to have more discussions. And we actually have the Hong Kong port practicing the collaborative inspection and joint clearance mode. And I think on that basis, we can discuss more arrangements such as the one vehicle, multiple ports arrangement. I also pay close attention to the situation of new energy logistics vehicles. We have many hydrogen and electricity fueled vehicles in the Guangdong province, so we should make sure to have the alignment of standards, or at least compatibility of standards, by extension connectivity of transport infrastructure. This will in turn help enhance the sustainable development and high-level integration of the Greater Bay Area, as so submit. Professor Priscilla Leung, thank you. We need to really make things accessible to promote the flow of people and data input. The National 15 Five-Year Plan talks about enhancing regional development coordination as well as planning and alignment and to ensure accessibility. I think this motion comes at the right timing. We have to talk about today how we can catch up with the progress of the National 15 Five-Year Plan. Take Hong Kong-Zhuhai-Macau Bridge and the express railing as examples. Since 2018, their commissioning, it has opened a new chapter for living in the Greater Bay Area. And if in one day I can travel to Zhaoqing, for example, and back. So these two important infrastructure projects bring about great opportunities for the interconnectivity and development of the Greater Bay Area. Today, I want to focus in particular on how we can really increase the linkage between Shanghai and Hong Kong in terms of land-based transport so that we can better go global. Recently, the Shanghai Authority promulgated the action plan, and I myself participated in the most recent announcement conference as well as previous seminars. Someone said in Hong Kong when we were constructing the Shenzhen Bay Bridge, someone already suggested the idea of having a railway connection between Tianhai and Hongshui-Q, but then nothing happened until 2019 when Mr. Lin Ka-kun, the ex-planning department head, proposed it that the then chief executive included it in her policy address. And then we started tendering for it, and we have only plans to commission it in 2035. And you look at Shanghai then, and now you see great changes. We really need to catch up. Shanghai is an important strategic partner of ours. Shanghai can really be a demonstration zone for Hong Kong with the flow of data, professional qualifications, alignment, financial innovation, regulation, legal services, etc. We are aligning in terms of rules and mechanisms. We're moving fast in this regard. They also have in their plans how they will take forward the project of University Town in Hongshui-Q to promote industrial cooperation with the northern metropolis, and how Shanghai can really participate in Hongshui-Q development. And we can have like a tertiary institution platform, etc. We really need to match the speed of the development of Shanghai. They talked about Hongshui-Q, Shanghai Railway. Their section would only cost $68 billion. we should be embarrassed because this is not a figure we'll see for projects in Hong Kong. Many said during the question session whether we can think about how in Shanghai, well, mainland in general, they are constantly constructing infrastructure and they do it quickly at an affordable cost and they have great quality. So we really need to catch up. We need to remove the unnecessary restrictions. You can see our partner is moving so quickly. When we talk about helping them global, we need to move fast. But then with some restrictions in law, we can't move fast. So we need dedicated legislation. We need to expedite things. We need to be professional and forward-looking. Let's catch up in reforms and meet the country's expectations of us. I so submit.
Mr. Lam Chun-sing, thank you, President. I thank Mr. Adrian Ho for moving the motion. Last year, the Finance Committee approved the funding for site investigation for Shenzhen West and also a railway, as well as the redevelopment of the Hong Kong port. There will be a joint management model adopted, and we will start with the design of the Hong Kong section and Shenzhen section, and then there will be a centralized procurement in order to enhance the operational efficiency, cost effectiveness of the system. It is expected to be commissioned in 2035. We should adopt the construction standards in the mainland. We should also leverage on the materials and machinery available in the mainland in acquiring the certification. The government earlier announced that new technologies will be introduced and incorporated into the system that complies with the Hong Kong railway standard. It is hoped that by doing so, we can enhance the cost effectiveness of public works. The redeveloped Hong Kong port will be the first BCP, land-based BCP, to adopt the collaborative inspection and joint clearance model. This can help save time. Visitors don't need to be registered in advance. The relevant authorities in Hong Kong and Shenzhen can just make use of their respective databases in order to provide clearance under the collaborative inspection and joint clearance mode. I hope that a timetable can be drawn up for this model to be adopted at other BCPs as well. As for facial recognition and other contactless clearance arrangement, can we also adopt these technologies at other major land-based BCPs? I hope that the government can actively look into these options. About the northbound travel for Hong Kong vehicle scheme, before the scheme is further expanded, we need to have regard that public transport access is only available at the Hong Kong port. And in fact, there should be additional car park and pickup points near the terminal building for traffic diversion. Now, the government should also consider the co-location arrangements so as to further enhance the capacity at the Hong Kong port. In the long run, the government should explore with the mainland authorities the possibility of implementing one vehicle, multiple ports arrangement so that dual license vehicles will not be required to go to designated BCPs. This can facilitate cross-boundary transport. As for Shuttlecock, the control point ceased operation during the COVID pandemic in 2020. Now it is expected that it will be reopened in 2032. That means there is a hiatus of close to 12 years. The Shenzhen municipal government has already remarked that for the redevelopment of the control point, it will be completed as early as 2029. Now, is there room to compress the time frame for land resumption and construction in Hong Kong? The government should also learn from the experience of Hung-Yuen-Wai BCP. The utilization far exceeds the design capacity. So the government should plan and assess carefully the construction of future BCPs so as to ease the pressure on Hung-Yuen-Wai BCP, and the shuttlecock ports construction can also be dovetailed with the development of ecotourism in Northern Metropolis. Mr. Jimmy. Thank you, President. The 15th five-year plan supports greater integration into the country's overall development plan, as well as a closer tie with the mainland on creating the bonds among people and fostering trade, commerce, etc. We must actively dovetail with the national five-year plan. We must fulfill this mission. And what's important is to enhance connectivity, especially for transport. Planning for transportation is pivotal to our development plan. Now, the 15th five-year plan recommendation emphasizes improvement of the modernized integrated transport system so as to enhance the regional layout and connectivity. Now, Mr. Liu Wei, the Minister of Transport of our country, told the journalists of People's Daily that improving the modern integrated transport system is important to the development of new quality productive forces and taking forward high quality development. In fact, our government also attaches importance to infrastructure development. It is important to improving people's livelihood, and this is also floated in the first policy address of the Chief Executive. Now, this motion debate is on facilitating land-based cross-boundary transport. I have 4 suggestions. The first suggestion is to enhance the efficiency of clearance at BCPs. We have 9 land-based BCPs connecting Hong Kong to the mainland and Macau. We have 3 ports for railways and 6 for other modes of land transport. And 3 of them adopts the collocation arrangements. So it's efficient for tourists, especially when we have introduced the collaborative inspection and joint clearance model. The BPA last year already proposed the adoption of this arrangement for the West Kowloon high-speed rail terminus to enhance the cost effectiveness of high-speed rail. We also need to separate cargo clearance from passenger clearance. The new Hong Kong port arrangement will be scrapped, and for Shuttlecock Port, likewise, they will only provide passenger clearance service. The second suggestion is to make use of smart technologies to enhance efficiency. The Guangdong province recently introduced a plan. It is expected that within this year they will make use of AI to manage traffic, and they will also make use of big data analytics to project passenger flow, and this can, in a more precise manner, gauge the capacity of the boundary control points. We should learn from them and apply AI to the allocation of quotas under northbound travel for Hong Kong vehicle scheme. The third suggestion is to take forward cross-boundary infrastructure development. The Hong Kong-Shenzhen Western Rail Link will connect Hong Shui Kiu to Qianhai. We will also adopt a joint management model. The Northern Link Spur Line will also connect Shantin Station to New Hong Kong Port so that our railway network will be better integrated into the national rail network. The government should work on it as quickly as possible. The fourth suggestion is to improve the cross-boundary transport policy, especially for private cars. I support the original motion's one vehicle, multiple ports arrangement. Now, the new Hong Kong port will be commissioned soon. This will be a golden opportunity for us to try things out. The government should actively consider this suggestion. I support the original motion and the amendments. Mr. Chen Pui-leung. Thank you, President. With interconnectivity and coordinated development of the Greater Bay Area, we have continued to enhance connectivity with the mainland. We have 9 land-based BCPs, including 3 for railways and others for vehicles, and this can help promote the flow of people, capital, goods, and information across the boundary. This can also help foster the one-hour living circle of the Greater Bay Area and promote regional collaboration. Now, with the east in, east out, and west in, west out arrangement for cross-boundary freight transportation and increasing demand for passenger services, there is a need to enhance the efficiency of boundary clearance and extend the operating hours. The redeveloped Wai-kong port and the Shuttlecock port will serve as ports for passenger clearance only, and the collaborative inspection and joint clearance will be adopted. For freight cargoes, the clearance services will be moved to Shenzhen Bay Port and Liantang, Hangzhou Port. I think that the government should closely monitor the flow of passengers and vehicles at the different BCPs so as to make sure that the capacity can meet the mode of clearance. The government should also have regard to manpower deployment, transport facilities, and effective use of resources. The government should discuss with the mainland authorities the possibility of extending the operating hours at different BCPs and adopt collaborative inspection and joint clearance so as to streamline the clearance procedures and enhance the efficiency. We should go smart. Now, next, I'd like to talk about the northbound travel for Hong Kong vehicles and southbound travel for Guangdong vehicle schemes. The northbound scheme was introduced in July 2023. It's very popular. As of March last year, the Transport Department already issued 140,000 permits. That's roughly one out of every 5 cars. As for the utilization of the Hong Kong-Zhuhai-Macau Bridge, these northbound traveling cars account for some 40% of the total vehicular flow, and during major festivals there is always traffic congestion at the Hong Kong-Zhuhai-Macau Bridge. The government should actively discuss with the CPG and the Guangdong provincial government on opening up other land-based BCPs for use by northbound scheme vehicles. This can help divert traffic. We can for example, make use of the redeveloped Wai-kong port. The other point is about the southbound travel scheme. Over 2,500 applications have been received. Over 1,000 of them have made advance booking to drive to Hong Kong. Now, as the Chinese New Year approaches, the scheme has become even more popular. These drivers are better off. They can help bring businesses to the local catering, hotel, and retail sectors. In fact, the secretary already talked about the expansion of the scheme. 4 more cities in Guangdong province will be covered, and the government will closely monitor the situation. During long weekends, many Hong Kong people may choose to travel outbound and streets are becoming quieter. The government can review the situation and make flexible adjustments to the quota arrangement and the maximum days of stay under the southbound scheme to attract more people to drive southward. As for the high-speed rail, the number of destinations increased by 16, so that we now have 110 destinations in total, covering 85% of cities in the Guangdong province and accounting for 40% of all stops in the national rail network. I support Mr. Perry Yu's amendment. We should strive for more stops to be included, and we should also talk to the MTRC as well as mainland counterparts, so that we can turn the high-speed rail Hong Kong section into something like the metro to provide flexibility. And this can also help enhance efficiency. I support the original motion and the amendments.
Mr. Kissing-Yang. Thank you, Deputy President. First of all, I thank Mr. Adrian HO for moving today's motion. which gives us an opportunity to discuss in depth how to enhance our land-based cross-boundary transport. Now, I would like to focus on cross-boundary railway and also BCP's operating hours. Railway is an important backbone of cross-boundary transport. It has connected GBA cities. It is also the backbone of the country's transportation network. High-speed rail departures are frequent, and it is very close to full capacity. So we need to consider enhancing our high-speed rail connection to maximize the utilization of our high-speed rail. We need to manage high-speed rail like the metro. We need to connect to the Shenzhen North Station and then connect to the wider national high-speed rail network. To do that, we need to discuss the matter with the Shenzhen municipal government. Now, there is already an existing express interchanging corridor, but we need to make the interchanging experience more convenient, just like changing to another line in the MTR. We need to maximize the use of our limited space. And also the high-speed rail trains in the mainland have standing space or no seat tickets. Now at present, it only takes 10 odd minutes to reach our neighbors in the Guangdong province. And also, ad hoc booking can be made. By enhancing the capacity of high-speed rail train, we can make it more convenient. Now, West Kowloon has destinations to 110 stations in the mainland with some 100 departures every day. It can carry some 140,000 people per day. It's very close to the design capacity of high-speed rail. So there is a need to expand the number of high-speed rail stations in Hong Kong. Now, there are 4 underground platforms with 10 tracks, 5 long, 5 short-haul tracks for high-speed rail. There can be 4 departures simultaneously. However, to cater for the increasing demand, we need to expand the capacity of the station. Now, some call for more stations. However, if our carrying capacity cannot be enhanced, the extra stations will have no meaning. So we need to enhance carrying capacity first. To enhance the effectiveness and carrying capacity of our high-speed rail, we need to apply contactless customs clearance in full and also apply the collaborative inspection and joint clearance model. And also we need to enhance the facilities within the station. Currently, there's only drinking fountains without kiosks for refreshments. I think we need to provide customers with some retail and catering options. We also need to enhance the quality of the waiting room to attract more high-end passengers. Deputy President, I would like to move on to the Hong Kong-Shenzhen Western Rail Link. Now, our connection with Shenzhen is in Luohu and Futian, while with Qianhai and Shenzhen West, we are mainly relying on the Shenzhen Bay Bridge and the Shenzhen Bay Port. Now, with the northern metropolis being developed, there will be keener demand for transport. We need to create a quality living circle in the area. That will be a pivotal project for us to integrate into the Bay Area. However, the design of the Hong Kong-Shenzhen Western Rail Link is very outdated. It can only travel at a speed of 140 kilometers per hour. By 2035, when the railway is commissioned, that standard will be outdated. The intercity rail link in the mainland travels at 200 kilometers per hour. Now, last year, we have allocated funding for preliminary study, but is there room for enhancing the design speed so as to facilitate connection with the country's network? Thank you. Mr. Peter Shiu.